I got the power back on. Okay. Yeah, we ran out of juice. But I want to retract back. Well, I was talking about in those days, the United States would be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments. And we're talking about these times now. In these times now, the United States is one of the greatest and civilized governments of the world. But he said, but if the above principles are not carried out by the citizens and my people in this government. Now let me retract and read that again so you will see how clever the prophet had crafted this statement. You know, I deal with textual teaching. You know, I go by what the text says and draw up out of the text. So a lot of people do topical teaching, where they get a topic, then they'll go to the scriptures or whatever and try to fit something to fit their subject. But what they're doing is they're bringing baggage to the text. So when doing a proper exegesis, you take the text for what it says. Break it down to the least common denominator. Because it says what it says. But listen to what he said. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by the citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come. Because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people, and this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. We've been out of covenant for a long time. Let me give you this illustration. When Moses brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, they had what you call the Ark of the Covenant. And we know within the Ark of the Covenant, you had the Ten Commandments, the rod of Aaron. But the thing about this box, this chest, was they were in covenant with God. And every time they would go to war and they had this Ark of the Covenant, they won. God was walking with them. But when they didn't have that covenant and they turned away from God, he got mad and said, you're going to be punished. You're going to be in bondage. That was our problem. That's our problem today. We are out of covenant. The so-called black, Negro, colored, African American. God is not pleased with that. We're not honoring our fathers and our mothers that our days may be long upon earth. You was not called black back when. We are the descendants of the ancient Moabites. The people in the Bible. Why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants of Moroccans born in America. Moroccan is the modern name for Moabite. Some of your church folks know it. Or some of them say it and probably don't even realize the capacity. We are really that bloodline in the Bible. We are out of we in the house of David. We're going to go to the Hebrews in a minute. I'm going to show you why. What Cannon Bay did was divine in establishing this government. A free national constitution. He said in those days, in these days right now, the United States is one of the prosperous, most civilized, it's an advanced government. But if, you know, if our people don't get back into covenant with our Constitution like every other nation, the worst is yet to come. Earthquakes, diseases, etc. etc. Let me go into Hebrew right quick. This is going to be the New International Version. This is one of my Bibles I had when I was a little boy. Got it from my grandmama. This is my grandmama. Annie Mae Adams. They groomed me well when I was little. First of all, let me go to Hebrews, the 6th chapter, and verse 13. I'm going to start with verse 13. He said, when God made his promise to Abraham, since there was no one greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you and give you many descendants. And so after waiting patiently, Abraham received what was promised. Men swear by someone greater than themselves, and the oath confirms what is said and puts an end to all argument, because God wanted to make the unchanging nature of his purpose very clear to the heirs of what was promised. That's why we need to learn contract law and understand what contract law is and what a covenant is and what a constitution is. It's a covenant, it's a promise. A constitution is a promise, it's a trust indenture. We don't have that far. Well, we have it now with the United States of America Republic. When y'all get a chance, find me the preamble to the Constitution, United States of America Republic. But it's a trust indenture, a contract. God honors his contracts. We're not in covenant with God. God done turned his back away. You know, he done turned his face away from us because we done turned away. God honors his promises. It's us. It's us that have been disobedient. But going to chapter 8 of Hebrews. And we want to look at chapter 8, verse 7. For if there had been nothing wrong with that first covenant, no place would have been sought for another. But God found fault with the people and said, the time is coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. We the house of Judah. Would you give in a brief line the genealogy of Jesus? The great fathers was what? Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph by Mary. We that same bloodline. Those are not fictional people. That same blood is running through your vein right now. You don't even know it. You the house of Judah. Prophet said, I brought you something that you can shout about. And Judah what? Translate the praise. We don't even praise him enough. At least the church folks got it right with the praise. They got the spirit. What the Samaritan woman said to Jesus at the well, in this mountain, I'll follow you to worship. But you Jews say in Jerusalem will men ought to worship for salvation of the Jews. But Jesus was like, baby, there's going to come a time when neither in that mountain or in Jerusalem you're going to, but the true worshipers worship him in spirit and in truth. So really, with the church and the temple, both of our worship is incorrect. Because if you have a lot of spirit and you ain't getting the truth, your worship is incorrect. On the other hand, you got truth in the temples. Not enough of that spirit. So why don't you just put the spirit with the truth? We can be spirit and truth. There's a lot of them ones standing up all mad, dupe-faced. You probably brought you something you can shout about. And then the kingdom is established. And y'all don't want to get in and animate. Like I tell folks, Caddy Bay got it prepared so proper to where if we standing on the battlefield and walking and we see our weapons, all we gotta do is just pick up them weapons. Put on the whole armor of God. So you have a sure foundation to stand on. He said, I'll make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. It will not be like the covenant I made with their fathers when I took them by the hand to lead them out of Egypt, because they did not remain faithful to my covenant, and I turned away from them, declares the Lord. This is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after that time, declares the Lord. I will put my laws in their minds and write them in their hearts, that I will be their God and they will be my people. Y'all still ain't figured it out. It will not be like the covenant I made with their forefathers when I took them by the hand to lead them out of Egypt, because they did not remain faithful to my covenant, and I turned away from them, declares the Lord. This is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel. After that time, declares the Lord, I will put my laws in their minds and write them on their hearts. All right, let me give it to you this way. When Moses brought them out of Egypt, went to the mountain, God circumscribed, he scribed the Ten Commandments on stone. Moses brought the stones or the tablets to the people. He brought it to the people. But in this new covenant, he gonna put his laws in our minds and write them in our hearts. See, under that old covenant, let me tell you, that's the thing about grace. Because if it was up to the law, all of us would be dead. According to the law, all of us would be dead. We all sin. We in this flesh. We all had done some wrong. You don't know nobody walk with God. You don't know what God done did with somebody. Everybody met Jesus when they was doing wrong. And what you was doing didn't kill you. I know I should have been dead a lot of times. I done died so many times. Allah is all law. But guess what? He ain't even subject to the law. You can't, man, check this out. Allah overrode the law to give us some love that we didn't even deserve. Cause by that old law, all of us would have been kaput. But now in this new age, where we don't need to have no priest to speak for us on our behalf, we become a priest for ourselves. Because what? We're going to write the laws in our minds, put them in our heart. We was out of law. We've been out of law all this time. We've been out of covenant. That's been our problem. We've been a lawless people. And we all outlaws. Folks will say, outlaw making his own thing. No, we all outlaws. And I'm so thankful that God chooses who he calls. Because if it was up to any sheiks, anybody else, preachers or whatever, we've been doomed, but definitely will be doomed. He's going to write his laws in our minds, and they'll be in our hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. No longer will a man teach his neighbor, or a man his brother, saying, know the Lord, because they will all know me, from the least of them to the greatest. For I will forgive their wickedness and will remember their sins no more. Pardon me 1 second. I got that preamble right here. Now, I just want to know what is so bad and terrible about getting back in covenant with your God. That's been our problem. We've been out of covenant. We've been without a constitution. Every other nationality has a constitution, but the so-called Negro, black, color, African American, who's really Moorish American. So now we have a free national constitution for a free national government. But in this preamble, and I want you to listen to these words in this public record. We the people of the United States of America Republic, with profound reverence for the supreme ruler of the universe, in order to form a more independent and perfect government, establish love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, ensure tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America Republic as the law of the land. We the people of the Moorish American society pledge our lives and property to each other to gain equal footing in the affairs of men, and for other purposes in order to establish justice, promote the health, safety, and welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do by our representatives in convention ordain and establish the following constitution, republic form of government, and mutually agree with each other to form ourselves into a free and independent state by the name of United States of America Republic. And we do hereby ratify the boundaries assigned to such state by the Act of Redemption at the Pan American Conference in 1928. The aforesaid, which are as follows to wit, extends from northeast and southwest Africa across Great Atlantis, even unto the present north, south, and Central America, and also into Mexico and the Atlantis Islands of Mexico, Turtle Island, Frog Island. The fate of the unborn millions will now depend under the creator of the universe on the conduct of this sovereign nation state of Moorish American nationals and citizens. Let us therefore animate and encourage each other to show the whole world that we as Moorish American nationals and citizens are contending for liberty as Moors on ground superior to any nation on earth. We now renew our covenant with our Creator. It's a covenant. I'm trying to find my... But yeah, that's been our problem. And I can't... And then it says, and I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always caused them harm, but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way. Without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into the utter darkness of sin. They without understanding. See, people that can't even comprehend what we doing in the United States of America Republic, you can't comprehend it yet. You don't understand it. Understanding is a treasure of Allah. Either you just haven't unfolded into it yet, I don't know. But you cannot block, you can't block what God got destined. You cannot stop. Allah's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Whether you like it or not. Better hope you get it right. Because the only way you're going to be able to leave something to your children, your heirs, through this government. A governmental trust. What the prophet said in the oral statements? All the property going back to the government? All the property going back to the government. The United States been acting as trustees over your states. They've been acting as the trustees because we have been labeled minors in law. A lot of my people listen to the news when they be talking about minorities. They're not talking about numbers. They're talking about that mental capacity. Because you be having to have lawyers speak for you because you're a minor in law. You're out of law. And then this the killing part. Calling yourself black. That's why you never get no justice. You never get no justice. I closed the case standing on nationality and the law. Before the temple or the government, but I'm just saying. The folks back home know. I didn't know what I did. You know what I'm saying? Because wasn't nobody spitting what I was spitting back there in Alabama. I felt like a target. Like, boy, these folks gonna kill me. I'm just saying. We've been out of law. They have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc. If we're not administrating a government, no other nation is going to recognize us for real. That's how you recognize by the nations of the earth. Not just proclaiming Moorish American. Not just proclaiming Moorish American in the temple. We got to become a government. Then you have your economics and your social equality. You definitely won't get a black power. You saw what they did to the Black Panthers? Yeah, they had a nice salute. I salute them. We got to get out of that black thing and get in law. Then you can get them badges and tote them guns. Then you can police your own people to protect your people. We place our issues upon trust. You know? You do it upon trust. And what is that? They say we already have a government. How? Show me how. I want to know where your policemen are. I want to know how you already got a government. An annual fish fry? That don't do nothing for no nation of people. I'm sorry, I just got to keep it real. And the only way to actually administrate is through the governmental positions. They're open. Get in the office. Learn that office. Learn the function of it. Function in the office. David Clarence said it best. Execute the office. You got rights to understand what corporations and stuff is and their functions and charters and constitutions. You don't need that to profit about us everything. No. Make yourself smart, intelligent on all subjects. That's what I liked about them preachers when I was little. The ones who used to come do the revival, Timothy Woods and all them, Walter Ellis, them doctors. It was just something about how they was spitting. They was talking about something I was reading about as a child, like science and everything. Smart stuff. I said smart stuff. Smart stuff. Intelligence. And you know, not to discredit any of the preachers that I grew up amongst in my neighborhood, you know. But it was something about them dogs that come and lit it up. Because they were doctors of the law. That's what I was missing. I was missing the Kabbalion and books like that. You got to make yourself intelligent upon A lot of things, man. Islamism study everything. We scientists. You say you're a scientist. And you have to study to show yourself approved. No, I'm not arrogant. I'm confident in what I'm teaching because I study. I study. I don't just have one book. It'll be 5 books over when I'm reading. Like Todd say, get you a dictionary, you know. Get into the history of things when you're explaining something so you can apply it to now. You know? But yeah, without us being a government, they ain't gonna recognize us socially and religiously, politically, or economically. ETC in their present condition of their endeavorment in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world, they will not refrain from their sinful ways of action. And their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought the South on earth. Excuse me. And they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses. But I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into the marvelous light. From the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. He is indeed a prophet. He is indeed a prophet. He gave us the necessary tools to raise us up. He brought us the Circle 7 Quran, the book of the 7 seals that they talk about in Revelation. They hid this man in history. My mom and dad didn't even know who Noble Drew Ali was until I told them about it. When he passed for him back in 1929, he said in the statement, you didn't care if it be 50 years. 50 years went by, you'll never know I was here. Never know I was here. He was Jesus. Reincarnated. Y'all need to stop this matter talking about Jesus wasn't real and didn't exist. Or any of them other folks. Because check this out. Whether they represent a pharaoh way back when, past the 6,000 years that they talk about in the Bible, or whatever folks be saying, 6,000 years. Check this principle out. Since we reincarnate, and Jesus was Horus, Krishna, and all them, guess what? He's Alpha and Omega. Beginning and the end. We tarry here many ages. He was the first Adam. He all in the Bible. He's Adam's redeemer. Abel's vindicator. Abraham's sacrifice. David's music. Solomon's wisdom. Ezekiel's wheel in the middle of a wheel. Matthew's king. Mark's suffering servant. Luke's great physician. Acts coming upon the Holy Ghost. The Spirit. That fire. He came to manifest that love. Love is the only savior of humanity. The only savior of humanity. And Jesus, the Son of Mary, manifests that love. He's the only savior. Not no rise of this and that, matriarch, patriarch, whatever you want to call it. Every knee gonna bow. And every tongue gonna confess. Whether you like it or not. We in them days. We in those last days. There's so much wickedness and stuff going on. The last day I'm pouring out my evil spirit. And them evil spirits is everywhere. Everywhere. You know, we've been oppressed as a people. Slavery, the chains, the bondage, it's not over with. A lot of our people still slaves. They're still slaves. That's why Kanye West said slavery is a choice. You have a choice. We in the age of Aquarius. All this information, this truth. I'm in the circle 7. In the law and the Bible. This is what's going to set you free, the truth. The truth will set you free. But if you don't want to stay in truth, if you don't want to be in truth, stay a slave. Stay a slave. But I guarantee you won't come back. You won't make it back. Because if you don't get it right this time, you can mumble up under your breath. You can even shoot shots on the book, whatever you want to do. But Allah's will is going to be done. I can 100% promise you that. Standing on the 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. His will be done. On earth. See, the thing about Christianity is it was for the Europeans' earthly salvation. Remember, the Christ is in all of us. The anointing, the Christos is in all of us. But the actual institution of Christianity was created by Rome. That's why this government is totally Christian. Roman Catholic. And Christianity come from Catholicism, so don't think that Martin Luther, that did the Protestant Reformation. Whether you Baptist, Methodist, whatever, you still Catholic. It's still wrong. I did my studies. But wrong, but Christianity was for their earthly salvation. That's why they prospered. That's why they was able to prosper. Because I used to, even back when I was selling cocaine, I was a cabinet builder by trade. Did it for years. Loved it. Before it plummeted back in 07 when I caught my K. But I sold cocaine on the side. And still couldn't even keep up. Just to keep up with some of the Europeans I was hanging around. But it was my thing. if we working the same job, serving the same God, folk got a house, car, truck, boat, motorcycle, egg go, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I mean, I live my thing too, but I was just saying, how can we be working the same job, but they, you know, it was just something I wasn't getting, you know. But yeah, it's for the earth of salvation. But let me go to the start of Christianity, the beginning of Christianity. It said the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nations founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke of law. But and when I was saying that Christianity was for their earthly salvation, they even painted your brother Jesus, made him look like Kenny G. I will be like, that don't matter. Here's a dude, that's our brother. Same bloodline. I'm from the bloodline of Jesus. I know I'm from the house of David. But yeah, Jesus himself was of the true blood in ancient Canaanites and Moabites and inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Rome crucified him according to their law. Then Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad the first came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Jesus of Nazareth. The holy teaching of Jesus was to the common people, to redeem them from under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Also that the lion and the lamb may lay down together, and neither would be harmed when morning came. These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither the rich, because they loved the principles of the Ten Commandments. Through the Ten Commandments, the rulers and the rich live, while the poor suffer and die. Ain't y'all glad we got a constitution now? We got our own, so he can write the laws in our hearts and our minds so that we can stand on it. So the rich won't oppress us no more. So even high-ranking officials can't oppress you no more. The lamb is the poor people. The lion is the rulers and the rich. And through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny and to worship under their own vine and fig tree, after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. All nations of earth in these modern days are seeking peace, but there is but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being taught universally to all nations and all lands. He said, I'm a universal prophet, and my teachings are universal. He just came to the Moorish American people because we need him the most. That's why he said, don't nobody own the prophet. He's just not the temple's prophet. He's a universal prophet. And the teaching is universal. We even gonna have to straighten the brothers out in the east. We're gonna have to straighten them out. But yeah, I just had to give y'all that divine warning from the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Called destruction is underway. What the prophet said, I was prepared in due time. In due time.